Hello and welcome back to another episode of That's What She Said. I'm Amanda Bryan, your host, bio-emotional healer, massage therapist, Reiki master, medium, tarot reader, all the things. I'm so excited to be back. I have taken a minute. It's been a while since I've recorded. Life started happening, but I want to thank you for being here. Recording this on November 21st. No, that's a lie. This is episode 21, the events that have really shaped what has inspired me to come back to create a podcast episode has been some events that have taken place. So before I get even deeper into that, I first just want to say again, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for the people who let me know that I haven't created a podcast in a while. It means so much to me that you're going and you're looking for my content. So thank you. Thank you so much for asking me when they will be out. And hopefully at some point I'll get my life together and be more on a rigid schedule. But until then, we'll take it as it comes. Okay, so today is the 24th. The series of events, I'd say that the event that really transpired and influenced a lot of what I'm feeling right now and why I'm creating this episode on sitting with grief until it becomes or softens into gratitude. Those events took place on the 21st. And you know me, there is no such thing as coincidences. I've been feeling the pull to come back to the mic to create episodes. But every time I'd start to sit down and think of an idea or something, it just felt off. It felt forced. I kind of went through this space of thinking nobody really wants to hear what I have to say anyways, right? I'm human. We got into my own head. When I create episodes, I like them to come from a space of passion. It's something that I want to create and share that I think will be helpful for anyone and for everybody. And that's my intention of sharing it. It kind of felt like something to do on my to-do list, and I, just let it fall off to this wayside. Like I said, I genuinely like to pour my heart into my work. So if it's not there, it's not there. And like I said, if I'm honest, life has just been lifing. My own day-to-day stuff has become full and nonstop. Add on top of that, the world is still a dumpster fire. And it's exhausting to hold both your personal responsibilities and the weight of the collective. And especially in the type of work that I do in my office, it can become so overwhelming. And then put the frosting on that cupcake and you add the holidays that are coming up. And this stirs up everything in people. It stirs grief. It stirs joy. It stirs love. It stirs family dynamics, hope, memories, right? Pressure, all of the things. It stirs for missing what once was, for being grateful for what we still have. It's a lot for us. And it's hard to create anything from an authentic place when your nervous system is fried. And yesterday was Sunday, and I taught a yoga class all inspired by grief and the grief that I've been feeling. We did a whole nervous system reset. We did some breath work, we moved some energy, we cried, grief is one of those things that we get really good at not feeling because it's so painful to feel human sometimes, to feel the depth of how much you loved somebody or enjoyed their just human existence, right? There's this grief and loss. It can just be something that is we've swallowed cement. We don't want to feel it sometimes because it's uncomfortable, but we can only stuff that shit down for so long, right? And then something happens. For me, something drastic happened. And everything was just suddenly pulled back into perspective for me after a day of really, truly feeling depressed. I think I stayed on the couch for a few hours. I went to bed early. I slept a ton. I forced myself the next day to go to the gym and spend time with a friend. And that helped to reset everything. Last week, Lourdes Grey is she was married to John Harvey Grey. And I'm going to get a little bit more deeper into John in a few minutes. But so Lourdes was John's wife. She's who I did my Reiki trainings under. And I feel like I learned, like, just to say Reiki is just such an umbrella statement because I learned so much from this woman. She was in an accident, in a car accident on Wednesday night or Wednesday at some point. And the whole Reiki community came together. We pulled together. We were sending her energy and healing. And then on the 21st, I was walking my dog and I had this vision of Lourdes surrounded in this like beautiful golden light. And I felt very comforted by it. I was like, oh, it's working. She's going to be okay. And then I later logged on and saw that at that same time that I had that vision, that Lourdes had actually transitioned to the other side. It completely knocked the breath out of me. I think when you have really good intuition, right? Like sometimes it's hard to tell between hope and our intuition. Like I was like, oh, she's going to be fine. Right. Like, and then to find out, and she's fine, right? Like she is fine, but not the outcome that I thought would be happening. And so I'm grieving her deeply, but I've also never felt so connected to her at the same time. Like the signs that she has been giving me have been absolutely remarkable. But one of the best ones was how, well, I'll get into it because I feel I'm on a script. I'm following a script here. So I'll get into the science in a second. But I got to wrap up this. So her passing aligned me back to where I need to be. And I'm so happy that you're here with me. So thank you so much for listening today. And at the end of this episode, and I'll put in the show notes like what time it starts, there is going to be a guided meditation on grief for you to use anytime that you need it. So, like I said, yesterday I taught a yoga class and it was completely in honor of Lourdes, like the grief, sitting with gratitude, because I finally like let myself sit with the grief and it softened into gratitude of meeting her, of knowing her, of feeling like she's kind of passed this torch on to me. But before that, I was afraid to feel the feels. So I was at my space yesterday. I have class on Sunday mornings from 10 to 11:15, flow and let go. And then Mondays 6 to 7, which is just yin and restorative. Little plug there. And so I have these beautiful women getting ready, settling into their yoga spaces. And I went into my massage room and I was calling in Reiki energy and I was thinking about Lourdes. Now, prior to this, I should have said this part before. My mom, I had texted her and updated her and was really upset. And she sent me this really nice text message that said she's away on her honeymoon and she was at breakfast and she was asking Lourdes for a sign. And this family came in and this little girl, it was like a son and then two little girls. And the youngest little girl, my mom was saying how much she reminded her of me because she was just kind of like being a little walking to the beat of her own drum. And then when the food was put down, she had got pancakes and everybody else was starting to like cut it up and eat it, like civilized human beings. And this little girl like shredded up her pancake with a knife and like ate it right from like the knife, like pancake, knife in my mouth. And she's like, the family looked horrified. But my mom was like, I think the message for you was that like, keep being you, like, F etiquette, like, be you, dive into everything that you dive into. And like, and it at the time I was like, oh, okay, like that's nice. So I'm calling in my Reiki energy. I'm connecting with Lourdes. I open my eyes and a freaking bird plops a pancake in front of the tree in front of me and starts eating it. And I was like, no way. I took a picture of it. I went into the room and like just blurted it out to the women in class because I was like, if I don't say this, I'm going to end up gaslighting myself later. So it's moments like that. And I want to talk about grief and loss and transition from a medium perspective. And so I'll get to that in a minute, but it's just, she's been she's such a beacon of light, and she's still so present. Um, and I'm just so grateful that I have met her. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the grief and the loss. So backing up just a little bit, when I got that news about Lourdes, again, it was like the air getting sucked out of my body. But at the same time, there was this powerful presence. Like, she arrived the moment she left. I felt her immediately, deeply, intensely, like truly in that way that only energy workers truly can understand. Like, it was absolutely heartbreaking and just so strangely beautiful at the same time. It's, they're always reminding us, and again, and I needed the reminder too. I'm still like, she was reminding me I'm still here, just different. So I met Lourdes and John, her husband, when I was 22, and they changed my entire life. Reiki changed my entire life. It was a doorway that I didn't even know existed. And it was something I didn't even know that I needed. I finished college, I was working at a technology company down in Bedford, Mass, and I've always wanted to be a massage therapist. So I went to the massage therapy program director at the Nashville Community College, and she is also very in tune with energy and a Reiki. I believe she's a Reiki master, but she's the one who told me, she was like, before you start this program, you have to go and meet John and Lourdes Grey and do some Reiki training under them. Like, she was so insistent on it. I had never heard what Reiki was before, but I was like, okay, no big deal. I'm a yes girl. So I went and I met them, and it blew my world away. It shook the foundation of everything that I had learned. Like, the world just opened up. It softened, it expanded, it shifted. Energy became more tangible for me. Healing became real. And this, like, connection to spirit just got so loud. As much as my foundation had been rocked, and as wild as it all felt, it also felt so right. Like I was remembering something, and it was so empowering. And I knew I was exactly where I was meant to be. And like I said, I'll get to John. John is kind of the star of the show, because he was one of the first like to receive teaching of Reiki. So love you, John. I will get to in a minute. I think that I mentioned before, I actually like cared for John and did administrative work in exchange for Reiki training. So when I met them, I had actually, I don't know if it was the first training or not, but I had a cat, Buddha, my little cat Buddha, who, I didn't know it at the time, but he was like getting into like the back of a drawer, and I don't know what he was doing, if he was hiding or what, but he would end up having these seizures. So this poor cat, like, I was always at an urgent care with this cat or doing something, and like, I was a few times under the impression that they thought I was like harming the cat, which, was pretty traumatic all in itself. So he had a seizure. He wasn't walking. I was going to bring him in. I think I had an appointment already, and I had training that weekend, and Lourdes was like, bring him with you. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. So I brought my cat, and my mom was actually with me, and her and John gave Buddha Reiki, and I was watching them, and he stood up, and I just couldn't believe it, because he had not stood in so long. Like, it had been a few days of me, like, kind of picking him up and carrying him and bringing him place to place. And I was so surprised and so shocked and like so in awe. I remember John was doing the teaching, and I was just so like engrossed in my cat that like stood, and I couldn't believe it. And I think the cat was even trying to walk. And John was like, didn't skip a beat, but was like, hey, can you stop doing that? Like, stop paying attention to your cat. I'm talking here. It was just like so classic John. Yeah. So John, I did my first few teachings under John, my first few trainings under John. And then as he was, he was getting older, he was in his 80s. Lourdes took over more of the heavy lifting. She took over more of the trainings, and John was at home, though he would make these like celebrity appearances, which was always nice. But in exchange, I would, do administrative work and take care of John in the house and their dog, Mickey. And it was just such a beautiful part of my life that I don't even think I realized how magical it was. What's that saying? Like vision is always clear in the rearview mirror or whatever. But back to Lourdes. So her teachings, her touch, her wisdom, her energy. I mean, everything about her has shaped everything that I do today. Every yoga class, every healing, every session, every moment that I hold space for someone, like her influence is there. She's there. She's woven into my work in ways that like I can only fully understand now that she has passed. But again, when I first found out that she died, it hit me like a tidal wave. Um, and I realized that I hadn't actually been letting myself sit with grief. I was staying busy. I was distracted. I think, in more shock than anything. Because just sitting with it, it hurt so much. It was sharp and it was heavy. And it demands this realness out of us that like it demands this realness out of us, but we're always in a world like that's made us to feel numb, right? Like scrolling or this or that. Like, and it's scary to feel such an intense emotion. But when I finally sat with it, like really sat with it was like this heavy weight in my chest. And then the more that I sat with it, the more that it softened into this gratitude of, oh my God, I got to know this person. Like I got to know her. I got to be a part of her. She's still a part of me. And then I was just flooded with this sense of gratitude. And I realized that my grief was showing me how deeply I loved her, how much she shaped me, and how profoundly grateful I am that our paths crossed. And that softening, like that act of the softening, like that's still her teaching me. She's not going anywhere. Actually, that was another thing that was really tough was actually this time of year last year I had read her birth chart for her, which was just as magical as she was. But prior to that, I want to say it was like 3 years ago, I had this urgency to do my teacher training under her. So I've hit all levels like Reiki master, but in order to teach others, I still had to complete some more training under her. And I felt like this very, like I had to hurry up and I wanted to get it done. And we were talking and she was like, I'm not going anywhere. Like you have time. I'm not going anywhere. Like, and I think she thought that maybe we both thought that she was retiring. But now again, in retrospect, I'm like, oh my God, no wonder why I so badly wanted to complete this training under her. It's like, you know, we've adopted that time is like lineage, right? Like that the past is in the past, rather it being like kind of like woven together like fabric. And so moments like that, like it's like, oh, time and space is an illusion for sure. And also, just the last, I may have already said it. I know I've written it in my notes 57 times. Sitting with it with the grief reminded me of what a beacon of light Lourdes was. And it dawned on me as I'm kind of processing and going through this is that that torch I feel like has been passed on to me. I'm so much more inspired to take her work, take our work, take my work, and continue to spread it on. Lineage lives through the heart. And actually, Lourdes helped me heal a lot of my heart chakra in my 20s. One last thing that I have to say is during my morning meditation today, I just had this beautiful experience of sensing John. So I'm working with like a little bit of a shoulder injury and a wrist injury. And I saw in my mind's eye and felt them giving me Reiki. And I was like, oh, beautiful. Like just so blessed. Right, now it's John's turn. So let's talk about John Harvey Gray. So John was one of Hawayo Takata's original Reiki students. And if you're not familiar, so Takata is the woman who brought Reiki from Japan to the West in the 70s. So that means that John learned Reiki directly from some of the earliest lineage, because before that, it's like how Reiki was forming. And coming together. So these are like the original teachings, the untouched source. In some of the Reiki master classes that we did, we like got to listen to recordings of Takata talking, and that was, you can like still feel her presence very much even through recordings. It's wild. He then went on to train others, and that's actually how him and Lourdes met, and then got together, and she helped him get people trained in Reiki and spread the word of Reiki. I mean, gosh, I feel like even, back then, and when I was 22, which was so many years ago, a lot of people hadn't heard of Reiki. At least now the word sounds familiar. Before it was like, well, what did you just say? But taking those first classes with John and Lourdes, it was just magical. It was sacred. Again, that experience with my cat was just like mind boggling. And caring for John, like I said, that season of my life was pure magic. It was like stepping into an apprenticeship that I didn't even know I was destined for. At 22, I had no idea how lucky I was, but now I see it all so clearly. It wasn't an accident. It was an initiation, a sacred contract, a soul appointment. And I just keep having so many fond memories that keep flooding back, ones that like were so deep in my subconscious that I completely forgot about. And it reminds me of how tragic and sacred this world is. Life, death, rebirth, it can all be tragic and sacred, scary and beautiful at the same time. All right, so let's now talk about what happens when we die from a medium's perspective. So Lourdes's passing also opened up something else for me, and it's like something that I don't talk so much openly about. I mean, I guess I do, but probably more now than I ever have before. Many of you know that I'm a medium, and I don't think that it's like some people call it a gift. I don't know if I really consider it a gift. It's definitely a burden sometimes. But it's really just like we're conduits of energy. That's what our human body is designed to do. But we get really mucked up with stress and work and like stupid day-to-day shit that doesn't matter. So we like, it's not a clear channel. So being a medium is really just like having like a lot of clarity, having and clearing that channel through like healthy eating, though I could do better with that. Exercise, yoga, mindfulness, meditation, right? Like all of the, so that we're so present and into our bodies that we can feel and sense the energy shifting, because that's what we're doing. We're, mediums are the medium between life and death and those different forms of energy. And when souls transition, they vibrate at such a high level that if you're negative, depressed, filled with alcohol and, crappy food and, whatever, like all of that, because you're might be vibing down here and they're vibing up here, it's hard for them. I mean, they might be able to like lift us and bring us up a little bit, but versus if they're vibing up here and we take really good care of ourselves and we can vibe pretty close to them, then we're able to get those messages. We're able to practice that mediumship. So often I sense, feel what's happening after death. And I do need you to hear this, that so many different times that I've connected, people that have transitioned tell me that it's like sunny and 70 degrees all the time. Like think of it as like you're at an ice cream shop and you get vanilla ice cream every single day. And then you come to Earth to get like the rocky roads, the chocolate chips, the strawberry vanillas, the twists, right? Like on the other, when we are home, when we are transitioned to that higher energy, when we drop these bodies, right, when the soul goes back to a collective consciousness, it's warm, it's light field, it's expansive. I've heard it described, I personally like I've heard it described as like, the colors are so wild, but I find that the colors on Earth are so wild that I don't know if they could get more wild. But it's often also been like shown to me as very similar to what it looks like now, but again, sunny 70, like, and everybody's kind of going about doing their things, right? And then I always find interesting, like the people that maybe like John and Lourdes married on this lifetime, but transition, that contract is different. It's over. It's whatever. Like their relationship is different. Um, when you're transition, when you're home, when you're on the other side, whatever you want to call it, you remember everything. Everything makes sense. And you don't go through like, spoiler alert, God's not going to judge you. You judge you. You go through an experience. And Lourdes actually taught me a lot about this because she had a technique called walking the dead, which is where we would help to assist souls that haven't crossed, that were stuck here. Maybe they were in accidents and they didn't know they died, or they were too afraid to get judged on the other side, or they felt like they had unfinished business. It was a beautiful technique that she taught me that I still offer. But when you transition, you feel the way that you made everybody else feel, right? Like all those contracts, everything starts to make sense. You see it more clear. And it's this place where you remember everything, like who you are, why you came here, where you belong. Death is not an ending. It is not. It's a return. It's a homecoming. Our souls don't disappear. They simply shift into another dimension. And I find souls celebrate their death date versus their earthly birth date, because the death date is when they return home. They seem to come around more stronger, I feel like, during their death dates. Another thing that I've learned through mediumship and through the work that I do, is that we choose to be here. We have these, Earth is like a university, and we come here to learn, to expand, for our souls to grow as well. We also come here to help other people grow. And then we have those karma contracts where, say one of us, I have a soul contract with you and we both want to experience gardening. I don't know. And like, so I'll have a garden and you'll be a bunny that eats my garden or something. But our souls are evolving. They're learning every time they come back. And sometimes we have to repeat things a lot until we get it. But we choose our lessons. We choose the body. We choose the timeline. Typically, we choose the day we come in and the day that we go out, though there are accidents, challenges, like that's not a cut and dry thing. We choose our joy. We choose the hardships. We choose everything. And we come here to play out this karma, to evolve, to help the collective, which is all of us, to rise and experience the full spectrum of emotions. I like to say that we're the universe experiencing itself when we're in human form. Life is a school, it's a playground, it's a storyline our soul wanted to experience. So when someone who we love passes, the grief is real, but that love, the connection, the soul awareness, that doesn't go away. That's why we get these signs. That's why we feel them, we connect with them, we smell them, right? Like that love, that energetic vibration does not go away. The body does, right? The body changes form, but that soul doesn't. If anything, it just becomes more expansive, more present, and more connected to us in ways that the physical body just couldn't allow it. And I feel that with Lourdes, like I feel her with me now in this way that is soft and subtle, but like ever present. I mean, it is just not unlike anything I've ever experienced, but also so is she. All right. So now brings me to the final piece that I want to share, and that is gratitude, and not the forced kind, not the look at the bright side, like that deep embodied root level gratitude that comes from being like fully in the present moment. Like when you're washing your dishes, I'm so grateful that I have clean running water. I'm so grateful that I have two legs that can stand up and two hands that can wash these dishes. And I'm so grateful that I have dishes that had food on them to feed my family, right? Like it's that gratitude that just floods us. And nature has just been my best teacher for this lately. And always, I don't know, Taurus sun or what, but if you're struggling to find gratitude, get outside or at least sit near a window and look at nature. Because when the world feels heavy, I step outside. I let the cool air hit my lungs. I feel the earth beneath my feet. I listen to the trees breathe. I watch the light shift through the branches and I let nature pull me back into myself. Nature is, I think, one of the purest forms of gratitude. It doesn't try to be anything than it is, right? It's just present. And when I'm in nature, in its presence, I soften, I remember, I recalibrate. And here's the spiritual truth. That sense of gratitude, that's what raises our vibration so that we can be a medium, so that we can channel, right? When we're heavy in the shit, we just, and it doesn't mean don't feel your feels, right? Feel your feels, but don't get stuck in them. Feel them, feel them. Don't be afraid to feel them, and let them soften and transmute to shift you up higher versus hold you down heavier. Because when we're present, when we're grounded in our bodies, when we're connected to the earth, we're aware of the moment. And that's when our frequency shifts. And that's when we then sense all the other frequencies around her. Our clarity increases, our intuition sharpens, our energy becomes lighter, the mind quiets, the heart opens. And in that higher vibration, that is where spirit can access us or reach us more easily. Spirits vibrate again at that high frequency. And so when we're stressed or overwhelmed, our channel is foggy. But when we shift into gratitude, even for just a breath, it clears the static. The little antenna rises, the connection strengthens, and messages start to flow. That's why you never want to force messages either, especially if you're practicing reading for other people or being a medium for other people. We let the signs appear. Sometimes we look for them, but really letting them appear. The presence of loved ones is just so undeniable when we're in that state. So when I step into gratitude, when I feel the earth, when I breathe deeply, when I anchor in the now, I feel Lourdes with me more clearly, not gone, but just transformed and vibrating higher. And then I feel like I'm vibrating even higher. So that grief softens into gratitude. Gratitude raises our vibration. And from that place, we become a bridge between earth and spirit, between past and present, between the physical and the unseen. So now is the time of I want to close out the episode and then transition to a guided meditation for grief. So thank you so much for listening today. And I hope that you stay tuned for the guided meditation. So now I want to invite you into a short meditation, something to help you sit with your grief, soften it, and allow gratitude to rise. So begin by finding a comfortable position, either seated with a nice tall spine. The feet can be planted on the earth, or you can be sitting with the legs extended out in front of you, or crisscross applesauce. Again, you can be lying down. And noticing where you can make yourself 5 or 10% more comfortable. Making those shifts and settling it. And then shifting your awareness to your breath, breathing in slowly. And opening the mouth as you exhale, let it out. Allowing everything to land. Slowly breathing in. And a gentle breath out. And bringing your awareness to your heart space. And imagine your grief as a shape or a color resting there. There's no judgment. We're just noticing. Maybe it's just a feeling. Maybe there's pressure. And now place your hand, either physically or energetically, over your heart and whisper, I see you. I'm here. I'm not running. Feel your breath warm the grief and softening its edges. I see you. I'm here. I'm not running. And if the tears start to flow, let them come. Allow stillness. Let whatever you feel be enough. With each breath, imagine sending warmth towards that grief, letting it melt, even just a little. And now whisper gently, thank you. Thank you for showing me what I love. Thank you for reminding me what matters. Thank you for being my teacher. Thank you for carrying what I wasn't ready to feel. And now feel grief and gratitude weaving together, not as opposites, but as partners. And now call in the presence of the person or the one that you're grieving. See them in your mind's eye. Feel them beside you. Feel their warmth. Feel their love. If there's nothing, observe the nothingness. If you can sense them, sense into them. And now we'll take slow, deep breaths, 3 breaths. Taking a breath in for grief, opening up the mouth and letting it out. Taking a breath in for gratitude, opening up the mouth and letting that go. And taking a breath for the place where they overlap. And sighing that out. And placing your hand over your heart again. Silently whispering, I am allowed to feel. I am allowed to heal. I am allowed to soften. Take one last deep breath in and exhale completely. And starting to bring some awareness back into your bodies, wiggling your fingers and your toes and gently rocking your head from side to side. And fluttering the eyes open when you feel ready. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me return in this raw, honest, and vulnerable place. Grief doesn't leave us. It becomes something else, something softer, something wiser, something sacred. And gratitude doesn't erase grief. It elevates it. It lifts it into a vibration where spirit can reach us, where healing happens, and where connection becomes undeniable. And that's where I feel Lourdes now. In that high frequency, that 70 and sunny, light, free, still guiding, still teaching, still here. I'll see you in the next episode. And until then, may you breathe soft. May you let grief gently transform into gratitude. And until next time, that's what she said.